programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews, where my backdrop is finally starting to show its age. So yeah, as my tongue gets tied and I complain about cardboard being cardboard, um, welcome to the first day of Thanksgiving. And for everyone who just groaned and rolled their eyes at that horrible pun, you have my dad to thank for that. So, to get this started, we're going to start like all good Thanksgiving traditions with some family fighting. Uh, Believe it or not, we're actually looking at a figure that I could have sworn I had looked at before. But when I went back to double check, apparently I did not. We are looking at Titans Returns, Deluxe Class Quake, and Transformers Legacy Evolution, I think, Quake. Yes, it's a versus of the Quakes. Now, I think this is another one of the figures that fell prey to the big deleting of a while back. Anyone who doesn't know, I had hard drive failure right in the middle of editing, and I lost like 10 videos. I had actually stopped recording because of that for a while. But the problem is that I did not remember what figures, what videos were part of that, the big loss. So there's been a number of figures where I'm just sure I reviewed them already. I go look, and apparently I never reviewed them. So it's like, I don't know if YouTube's been like quietly getting rid of videos, or it's probably just more videos from the great losing. But with all of that said, I know that I have mentioned this guy a time or two in passing, because this is, to this day, my favorite Deluxe Class Transformer that is in Starscream. I love the crap out of this thing. We're going to see how the newest version of the character stacks up. And yes, I know this is a repaint of an Autobot. Traditionally, he doesn't have this mode. I really like this mode for him specifically. I like it better on him than the Autobot. I do have, I think, most of the Autobot. If I remember right, he doesn't have his gun, because everything was the same about these two. But anyway, as you can see, he is a tank. Whatever. And a pretty neat one. Fairly clean alt mode overall. No real exposed bits other than the feet hanging out back here. That is, as usual, the advantage of the Titans Return line not having to hide the head somewhere. It's funny how much not having to deal with the head makes everything else hide away so much better in general. But he's got, a big roller up front, two little wheels back here. He rolls around, does the thing. He's got a cockpit back here. Here. We will show off the articulation and aiming of the turret so that I can then open the cockpit. It does the thing where you can take the little head dude. All of these guys had different names. I can never remember what they are. I'm sure someone will have already typed it in the comments. So, go ahead. You put the head guy in the cockpit of the vehicle. It's Titans Return figure. We've been over this. I still refuse to go into the articulation of these guys. I reviewed one. I've reviewed them all. Hey, look, I already turned him into a head. So let's go ahead and get the tank transformed really quick. Start by, you don't have to, but go ahead, take this gun off and take this gun off as well. Worth noting, this gun, you fold this section back here and actually, if you don't fold it back too far and pop the little joint there, you can actually stand another Titan Master in the back here. Like, have one sit down in here if you want. Lot of, cross-play stuff in this line. It was really neat. But you do have to take this one off for the transformation, actually. So, we will start by coming under here. Flip this panel over to form the crotch plate. Unpeg the legs from these two little tabs that are sticking out right here. Extend this navy double hinge down. Get the legs in place. Come down here. Flip out the feet. Come to the top here. Bring these two little pieces out. There's supposed to be like this little round section here that's pegging in there. It less fully pegs in and more just kind of sits in there in my experience. But either way, go ahead, bring those out. We've got another double hinge in here on this little burgundy piece. Extend those out. For the hands, or for the arms, then fold out the hands. They will snap into place to stay put. Go ahead and rotate the entirety of the alt mode forward, and then this tab will slot in right there in front of the roller wheel. Then go ahead, this will slot in there, and then this will slot in down here in the butt. And finally, you will take this little piece right here, slide that over, then rotate this all up like that. And you are basically done with the body. Go ahead, put the big gun there on his shoulder, and pop in the head. And there you've got your Quake in his robot mode. And this right here is why I absolutely love this guy. For so long, this, in my opinion, has been just the best Deluxe class Transformer that's not a Starscream. I have a Starscream bias. We've been over this. Hi, remember Starscream week? You should. It was last week. But, you know, the range on this guy for posing was great for the time. You know, the only thing he's really lacking compared to a modern figure is ankle tilts. He just has, you know, A-stance feet, which was very common at the time. But, you know, the head, you've got some up, down, rotation, wiggle, the usual. It's a Titan Master stuff. The shoulders can actually shift up and down, which lets you get, you know, almost the arm all the way out. Rotation at the bicep. The double hinge at the elbow gives you really good range, you know, depending on how you need to use it. He actually has wrist rotation, which for figures that, you know, hide their hands away like that is way too rare. Nothing at the waist, because he does have, you know, multiple parts, you know, pegging in down the back. But he kicks forward really far. Kicks back pretty far, even with the backpack, actually. Does basically the full splits. Thigh rotation. 90-degree bend at the knee. He does the stuff you would want him to. He's really, really easy to pose because of his center of gravity. He's one of the few figures where, like, the backpack cannon really helps with the posing. He's just an awesome figure. There's a reason I've loved him for so long. So, let's go ahead, put this guy to the side, and look at the new offering. But before we actually get to the new Quake, we will mention, yes, this version of Quake goes back to his origins as a double Target Master. So he comes with 2 Target Masters. There's not a lot to say about these guys. They have names I don't remember. I don't even care. I'm not bothering to put it on the screen. Again, someone will have already beaten me in the comments to say it anyway. The sculpts on them are pretty good. I'm not going to complain about the sculpting. Paint is simple, but as these guys are primarily accessories, that's kind of to be expected. Go ahead and you fold down the barrel in the back, and now Now they're blasters for your guy. They have, they got the pegs on the end. You can sort of stack them. And you see, there's the part where they lost me. I know that it's supposed to have been like a whole thing, like Hoist or someone, like some Thrilling 30s Deluxe Autobot. They gave him his double target masters, and you could still stack them. You can't really stack these guys. You can kind of make it work with the shape of the blue guy's feet, but it's not great. I don't know. So it's cool that they gave him his target masters again. I really wish we would have gotten siege style target masters, or battle masters, or whatever the heck master they want to call them. These guys end up being a little bit mid. It's nice that he came with accessories, though. But less important is the tank boy himself. This is his actual G1 accurate alt mode. It sits together a little strange, but overall I am still a fan of this alt mode. It does still work pretty well. It is weird that it does not have any kind of wheels. Those who, with sharp eyes, may have already noticed from some of the pieces up here, but you will definitely notice during transformation, this is actually a very heavy retool of Skullgrin. I'm kind of impressed how different he ends up being from Skullgrin, actually, considering that. There's not much to go over in the tank mode. You can move the barrel up and down. That's it. You can wiggle this back and forth a little bit before this panel starts folding. And you can completely take this off if you want to. That part's a little lazy, but it's fine. You can, have these guys in their blaster modes up here and do that. Personally, I think they look a little better, actually, if you just put them on the side like that. But the tank mode's iffy, but I don't mind it. It's a decent little tank mode. Transformation on him is fun. He gets big points for the transformation. Part of what I like about the old one, the Titan's Return, is the transformation. This guy gets points for that too. Now you can leave the turret piece on throughout transformation. It does not need to come off. All you have to do is fold it up and then tab this in right there. And that's done. Just for sake of simplicity on video, I'm going to take it off, but not required parts forming by any means. So, get him transformed, go ahead and wiggle this part free. You've got these little tabs on the sides that are going through here. You've got these tabs, which are going down in here. A lot happens in that little wiggle. It's a little hard to go over all of it. We'll go ahead and start with the top of the body. Just because it's funny, we'll actually pull out his hands first. Then split the arms, take this little piece, shift it down, come to the front here, open that panel up, rotate the chest around, rotate the arms. Already done with the upper part of the bot. The craziness with this guy happens down here, or you can just leave him like that because it's funny. But what they did with the legs here, I think, is just really, really cool, actually. So we'll start. Let's go ahead and split the legs. Kind of bring the leg down like this on the knee, so we've got a little more room. I like to bring this piece up partway to get it out of the way. Fold out the foot and then turn it sideways to get it really out of the way. You've got this little piece in here, this double hinge. We're going to shift this all up to the front like that. And before things get too in the way, we'll also take the front of the tread here and rotate that around. Then take this piece, fold it all the way back. I'm sure there is a more elegant way to do this that I am missing, but just get that folded. This piece will kind of come down and slot in a few spots down here. Make sure this, is gone all the way forward, sitting flat. Rotate the foot down, bring this down. It'll slot over that black piece right there. There you've got a leg. Same thing over here. Bring this down. Unpeg this, bring it up. Get the foot out of the way for a second. And there you go. And go ahead, actually put this back on his back. And there you've got your new version of Quake in his robot mode. And this robot mode is so good. Like, if you're willing to have a Transformer that you basically just keep in one mode, this guy is really good for that. Let's go ahead and give him back his blaster guys. I find it funny that like one of the blaster guys matches him, the other one does not. I don't know, I've always found it weird when they do things like that, but the robot mode on this guy is really good. Basically, the only thing he is lacking is in the head articulation. He does have purely a swivel. There's no up or down, there's no side to side, there's just turning. Arms actually do have like limited, mostly backwards butterfly joints, but the fact that it's there at all is really cool. Yes, I know it's there from transformation, but I don't care. It's there, it helps, it's cool. Arms can go out all the way. Got rotation at the bicep, full rotation there at the shoulder. Nothing at the wrist, sadly, on this version, but you do get another really deep elbow bend, even though it's just a single joint. Not sure why I'm insisting on leaving these guys in his hands, but I am. You actually get a waist rotation on this version, unlike the Titans Return one. Kicks forward, kicks back, does the splits, thigh rotation, little more than 90 degrees at the knee, ankle rock with filler. So, depending on your exact preferences in Transformers, I could see someone liking either of these quite a bit. I will say with no uncertainty, yes, I do still prefer the Titans Return one, because the Titans Return one has still one of my favorite transformations that I've ever done. It's so quick, it's so easy, it's just good crap. But this one, few quibbles here and there, but overall, still pretty neat. I am not sure why the camera insists on focusing on this one blaster instead of the actual robots. But, yeah, so, I'm not really for me, yes, the Titans Return one definitely still wins. But if you see this and you're like, yeah, prefer the G1 accurate alt mode and the target masters of the new one, I can still completely understand and respect that decision. So, or you can obviously just be like me and have both, because both is good. So, all that said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.